As I'm editing this video, we just got the news that Caitlin Clark will be sidelined for at least 2 weeks with a left quad strain. With the controversial ending to the Fever vs. Liberty game, many WNBA fans are calling out the referee problem, and they are demanding answers and they are demanding changes.
Is the league protecting its most valuable player, or is there a deeper issue at play? Caitlin Clark is officially out for at least 2 weeks because of a quad strain, but fans aren't buying that this is just a simple injury.
Legitimate argument that she's a top 5 player in the league, and before this injury, probably was going to make a real case to win league MVP this year.
They've been watching closely. They've seen the hits. They've seen the bruises. And now they're saying this isn't just bad luck. It's the result of something much deeper. You see, this isn't just about Clark missing a few games. It's about a league that pushed her into the spotlight, sold tickets off her name, built marketing campaigns around her, and then stood back as she got pounded game after game.
There's a level of physicality in this sport that isn't necessarily in the NBA anymore.
Oh, it's always been chippier because they're not vertical. So they're banging into each other, and it's a very physical league.
And now they're asking real questions. Was this preventable? Did the WNBA fail its biggest star? Here's the deal. Clark came in as the face of the league.
It was growing before she arrived, and then it elevated to another level once she's arrived. And she's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Everyone said it. The next big thing. She's the savior of the WNBA. But almost overnight, the energy shifted. The cheers turned to side eyes. The praise turned to punishment. And it wasn't just one game. It became a pattern. Come to think of it, this wasn't rookie hazing. This felt personal. This felt like punishment. The hard fouls weren't just hard, they were relentless. And where were the whistles? Nowhere. The refs have turned a blind eye on her.
It's Kennedy Carter hitting a shot, then heading over to Clark and shoulder checking her.
The same league that hyped her up left her out to dry when it mattered, like they wanted her to take hits, like they were testing how much she could take.
The officiating in the WNBA became as hot button of an issue as any. Heated debates surrounding the league's physicality dominated the headlines, particularly when Indiana Fever star rookie Caitlin Clark was subject to several intentional fouls.
See, it wasn't just the physical hits, it was the silence that followed. Clark was getting dropped on drives, shoved on screens, slammed without the ball, and the refs just stood there. No calls, no warnings, just silence, like they were extras in a bad drama, watching it all go down without saying a word.
Harassed by Carrington, finds Boston. Clark gets hit in the face by Carrington and is down.
Anyway, it caught up to her. She's been logging monster minutes, no load management, no easing her in. They kept putting her out there even when it was obvious she was getting targeted. Now, she's injured. Take a look at this clip. The ref literally turns his back as she gets decked in transition, not even pretending to care. It didn't just look bad, it felt like confirmation. Like all the things fans were saying were finally backed up on screen. Of course, social media exploded. It wasn't just angry fans. Analysts, former players, even other athletes started chiming in. So now those bad calls, they don't feel random anymore. They feel coordinated, like a pattern, like a message. And that's what made the internet lose it, because it wasn't just one missed call, it was the whole system on display. Here's where things get wild. A bunch of these referees didn't even come from college or pro pipelines. Some came straight from high school level games. No G League, no NCAA D1, just boom, and they are welcomed to the WNBA.
Every WNBA and NBA referee's journey is different, but they all share the same foundation, a stint in the G League. Now, they go on to say that in order to even get to the G League, there are essentially scouts that go out and scout referees, but the scouts are in high school gyms, they're in college gyms, they go to the National Intramural Recreation Sports Association clinics, and they're out there looking at a lot of referees who are just getting into it and just getting started. I guess what's happening is there could be an NBA referee scout at any high school game. They basically say you can essentially go straight from being a high school ref and then you go and referee in the G League, and then you can get upgraded to refereeing in the NBA or in the WNBA. And one of the people that they're actually interviewing, he essentially said that he wrote a letter to the NBA, and he was essentially just a teacher, and he found out that referees got paid a lot more, and he had a passion for basketball, so he wrote a letter to the NBA and then eventually made his way into refereeing for the NBA and was there for many, many years.
That's not not normal. That's not professional. These refs are underqualified, overwhelmed, and clearly inconsistent. And when you're dealing with players like Clark, that can't happen. The pace is too fast. The spotlight's too big. This isn't a place for on-the-job training.
Fever and Liberty game that one of the referees seems like his only experience was actually refereeing high school games. Now, I will put this out there, you guys. I don't want any of you guys hunting down the referees.
But aside from this, there's a twist, a bigger one. The problem isn't just inexperience. The problem is control. These refs aren't always calling the game how they see it. There's something else happening behind the curtain.
With the controversial ending to the Fever vs. Liberty game, many WNBA fans are calling out the referee problem, and they are demanding answers and they are demanding changes.
Let's be frank here. The refs aren't always making independent decisions. They're being guided, and not just by supervisors, but by a quiet group of GMS, coaches, and league voices. They're the ones shaping how physical the game should be. They're deciding what to allow and what to ignore.
The article is that it seems like a lot of them are kind of being told what to do. There are other people pulling the strings above them.
You might think that sounds like conspiracy stuff, but it's not. League insiders have confirmed this system exists. Officiating isn't neutral, it's strategic. Every whistle, or lack of one, is part of a bigger discussion. And when those discussions involve politics instead of fairness, players like Clark get caught in the middle. She's not just playing basketball, she's navigating a boardroom battle she never signed up for. Now here's the thing, Clark doesn't fit their plan. She plays fast, she plays wide open. She brings a college tempo that clashes with the slow, gritty physical style a lot of the old guard prefers. So what happens? They let her take hits. They don't adjust to her game, they try to force her to adjust to theirs. And in the process, she gets punished for doing exactly what made her great. Clark isn't just a scorer, she's a disruptor. She's changing the way people watch the WNBA. But some folks in the league aren't ready for that change. So instead of adapting, they tighten the screws, and Clark becomes the target. Stephanie White wasn't the only one speaking out. Kelsey Mitchell, one of Clark's own teammates, hinted that Caitlin had been playing through pain for a while, that it wasn't new. That's proof that her injury had been building up over time. And then you had Brittany Griner, mid-game, mid-interview. She walks away from the mic to yell at the refs after another no call. It wasn't even her team, but she saw what was happening and couldn't stay silent. So this isn't just about Indiana. This is league-wide. Players and coaches see it. They feel it. And they're starting to say the quiet part out loud.
Screening action down low. Clark has to get open. 1 second left. Clark doesn't get the shot off. Cloud locks her up.
If you saw the Fever versus Liberty, Clark drives hard. Natasha Cloud bumps her real hard, but no call. Replay shows it clear as day.
Action down low. Clark has to get open. 1 second left. Clark doesn't get the shot off.
Crowd gasps. Announcers go silent, and just like that, the game slips away. White tried to challenge the play, but she couldn't. Some technicality blocked her. Same refs, same silence, same ending. People are starting to connect the dots.
It's disappointing, that it doesn't go both ways, or it hasn't gone both ways. But we also can't allow that to consume us, right? Like, we've got to be able to play through that. We've got to be able to control the things that we can control.
And it's not just one or two moments, it's happening again and again. Big possessions, game-altering plays, missed or ignored, always around Clark, always when it matters. So now Clark's injured, and people aren't shocked, they're furious. She played 139 straight games at Iowa, never missed one. But now, after just a few weeks in her WNBA second session, she's out. Quad strain, overuse, collision, whatever you want to call it. But fans know the truth. This didn't come out of nowhere. This was a slow build, a pileup of abuse, neglect, and silence, all while the league sat back and watched. And where's the response? Nowhere. No apology, no review, no acknowledgement that anything went wrong, just silence. Again, here's where it gets really messy. Clark drives more than a quarter of all WNBA revenue. She's the most watched athlete in the league, period. She's the reason why people show up.
It is so great for the sport because she is someone that people show up to the party because of her. And where I give the evolution of the WNBA and women's basketball credit is, I think people show up to the party, whether it was for the women's NCAA tournament or the WNBA, and they're like, oh, this party's pretty good. Yeah. I like it. There's a level of physicality in this sport that isn't necessarily in the NBA anymore.
Oh, it's always been chippier because they're not vertical. So they're banging into each other, and it's a very physical league.
But she's the least protected. That doesn't add up. You would think they would do everything to keep her healthy, keep her happy, keep her playing. Instead, they let her get wrecked. It doesn't feel like an accident. It feels like a decision. Whether it's conscious or not, the result is the same. Your most important player is now your biggest liability, and fans are paying attention. Let's be clear here. This isn't about giving Clark superstar treatment. It's about consistency. I mean, without her ticket prices are going down.
Now that Caitlin Clark is hurt for 2 weeks, did you see ticket prices? Insane. Let me read you the ticket prices. After Caitlin Clark's been hurt for 2 weeks. All right, so let's go through this. Caitlin Clark absence is having an immediate impact beyond the court. According to data shared by Yahoo Sports via TickPick, prices for 2 specific Indiana Fever away games against the Chicago Sky and the Washington Mystics dropped sharply after Clark was sidelined. Before the injury, the lowest ticket available for Fever's matchup in Chicago was $86.
Go watch an NBA game, or even NCAA. Star players get the benefit of the doubt. They get the whistle. But for Clark, her story is different. She gets slammed and told to adjust. Why is she the only one asked to adapt? Why is she treated like an intruder instead of a headliner? It's not about special treatment, it's about fair treatment. And right now, she's not getting either.
What the hell is going on with WNBA that they cannot handle all this attention that they're getting, as well as the hate and anger?
You see, league executives tried to brush off complaints, said most of the outrage was coming from new fans, that they didn't understand the game yet. Wrong. These aren't confused newbies. These are fans with eyes, watching clips, seeing the patterns, sharing evidence, and asking good questions. New eyes don't mean uneducated eyes. In fact, they might be the clearest. They're not numb to the politics. They're just watching the game and seeing the truth. So Clark's down right now, but don't count her out. She's taken bigger hits and come back stronger. At Iowa, she became a household name. In the WNBA, she's becoming a fighter. She's learning the hard way. But when she comes back, you better believe the whole league will be watching. Like and subscribe for more Caitlin Clark news. Thanks for watching.